What was it?
Big dog, maybe?
It was a werewolf movie that had a hairy start.
Everyone was really sensitive to school violence, and someone just took it and made a big fuss over it.
But it chewed up its competition overseas.
I always knew Ginger Snaps was special.
After a short run in Canadian theaters, Ginger Snaps became a cult hit and an international monster. It not only bred a sequel, but a prequel as well.
Hi, I'm Larry Day, and welcome to Filmography, where we go behind the scenes on the biggest movies ever made in Canada. Ginger Snaps went into production in the spring of 1999. This was only weeks after the high school shootings in Columbine, Colorado, and Taber, Alberta. There was a heightened concern about school violence, and that meant a rocky start for this teenage werewolf movie. A misleading article on the front page of the Toronto Star claimed Ginger Snaps was going to feature bloody classroom scenes. That did not sit well with Toronto talent agencies. They wanted no part of an association with Columbine and refused to let their clients even audition. Well, that suited Vancouver actresses Emily Perkins and Katharine Isabelle just fine.
Everyone in Toronto wouldn't let their actors audition for it, and so he had to come out to Vancouver and find us.
Yeah, otherwise we might not have gotten the parts. Thanks for that.
Emily Perkins was cast as Bridget Fitzgerald, a brooding 15-year-old obsessed with death.
Maybe it's cancer of the spine. Ginger Ann.
Or tuberculosis.
See what your attitude does?
Or spondylitis.
Spondyl what?
Fuses your vertebrae together.
Nice.
Even though Emily was 22 when she read for the role, director John Fawcett knew she was the perfect fit. But there was a problem. In the time between her audition and her final callback, Emily had shaved her head. Only an inch of stubble remained. John was upset, but he still wanted her for the movie. She was immediately sent to a wig maker.
I just got the curse.
Ew.
Katharine Isabelle was chosen to play Bridget's older sister Ginger, a feisty redhead who is mauled by a strange and ferocious creature in a neighborhood park.
Let's get out of here.
It seemed these two young actresses were born to play sisters. Even though Katharine was 5 years younger, they led practically identical lives.
I've been following her for a long time. We're in the same agency, and we did the first audition together, reading off camera for each other. But we went to the same private school, went to the same elementary school, went to the same preschool, and were born in the same hospital.
All in totally different parts of the city.
Yeah, but she's 5 years older than I am.
Yeah, I'm 5 years older.
And we didn't really know I was doing this.
Out by 16 or dead in the scene, but together forever.
Their bond showed in all of their scenes. When a scratch on Ginger's shoulder grows hair, Bridget begins to suspect the attack in the park might have wolfish consequences.
Bitten on a full moon. Now you're hairy.
In the beginning, Bridget's kind of dependent on Ginger. She's sort of the stronger, bolder, more extroverted one of the two sisters. And then our relationship starts changing as Ginger starts becoming a werewolf.
The sisters grapple with Ginger's transformation without the assistance of their suburban parents, played by John Bourgeois and Mimi Rogers. The former Mrs. Tom Cruise was given the script while shooting the TV movie Common Ground in Toronto. She immediately agreed to play the over-the-top mom, Pam Fitzgerald.
It's wonderful. She was hilarious.
Yeah, she's really nice.
She was perfect. She was the perfect Pam, I thought. And yeah, she really adds comic relief to the movie, because otherwise it might have gotten a bit dark and monotonous, but she totally just broke it up.
Honey, it's nothing to be scared of. It's the most normal thing in the world.
With no parental guidance, Bridget turns to Sam, the local high school drug dealer. They discover the herb monkshood may be the cure they need.
Lyco as in wolf?
Right. It's called monkshood. It's a cousin of wolfsbane, except this stuff is safe in small doses.
But Ginger is more interested in breeding than experimenting with drug therapies.
You lie back and relax.
Ginger Snaps turned the werewolf stereotype on its furry ear. These mythical monsters are typically men, but Ginger is a sexy teenage girl. Werewolves usually come out during a full moon, but her affliction is the result of a blood infection. Screenwriter Walton used the idea of a monster growing inside a teenage body as a metaphor for the powerful effect of adolescent hormones.
Are you sure it's just cramps?
Well, it's using the metaphor of the werewolf being this monster that comes in and invades your body and changes everything, and things grow out of places and no one's telling you what's going on. That's kind of how it's using the whole metaphor as the monster's puberty, and this thing comes and invades your body and changes it. No one's telling you what the hell is going on.
Not everyone understood the Ginger Snaps script. Public concern about the movie's violence made shooting difficult. Coming up, how limited locations and overnight shoots led to a grueling schedule.
You don't think our deaths should be a little more than cheap entertainment?
Casting Ginger Snaps was extremely difficult. Sarah Polley and Natasha Lyonne turned down the lead roles because they didn't want to be associated with teen violence so soon after the Columbine shootings. Director John Fawcett finally found his Bridget and Ginger in Vancouver with Emily Perkins and Katharine Isabelle. Now they needed a place to shoot. Finding a school was the toughest challenge. Almost every institution in Toronto turned them down. They didn't want bad publicity. But John finally managed to convince the officials of Etobicoke in West Toronto to let him use one of their schools as a backdrop.
Basically, people were worried about, I'm sure they were only reading the first 15 pages of the script and thinking, there's no way I want this, at our school. So we ended up having to find a school outside of Toronto in Etobicoke. And then interiors, we ended up using a set of, I think, the famous Jet Jackson or something like that.
The drab suburban setting fit in perfectly with what John had in mind for the fictional neighborhood of Bailey Downs. Along with Etobicoke, they also shot exterior scenes in the Toronto suburbs of Scarborough and Brampton. It was there that Katharine Isabelle made a lasting impression while wearing her full werewolf makeup.
I'm standing on the road waiting for the transport van to come up, to pull up and take us to set. And all our vans are minivans, and this minivan pulls up and it's the same color as all our other ones. So I leap in, open the door, leap in the front, and it's this woman and her 3 kids. It's like this soccer mom and her 3 children, and they're looking at me and they're going, ah! And I'm like, ah! I leap out of the van and the van tears off down the road with the door swinging. Oh God. So now there's like 3 children out in Toronto totally traumatized.
Her realistic makeup took 5 hours every day to apply. By the end of the movie, she had gone through 13 stages, each more elaborate than the last. Katharine had a hard time dealing with her new look. She was unable to see out of her werewolf contacts. Her skin was stained pink by fake blood, and she was challenged by her new werewolf hands.
Her nails kept flying off.
Oh yeah, they fly off everywhere. They were super glued to my real nails, and they'd go flying, pinging everywhere.
So if you can imagine like a hideous, disgusting monster going, oh my God, I broke another nail!
I'm actually surprised that the continuity turned out as well as it did, because we were in total chaos, like just absolutely panicking every day, trying to figure out if it was the 4th stage of nails today with the 2nd stage of teeth with the 1 blue eye or both blue eyes, or we had like so much, 8 different stages of hair. And when we finally got down to the full prosthetics, it was like 5 hours of sitting in a chair with somebody poking a little brush into the corner of your eye, trying not to go mad and kill anybody.
The creators of her disgusting look were flown in from London, England, where they had just completed work on Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. They were given one simple directive in building the werewolf that attacks Katharine: no computer-generated effects.
It's not a matter of saying, hey, look what we did. It's a matter of, this is what works best for this movie. It's a gritty film. It's, doesn't require, it's not about the special effects. It's about the characters, it's about the story, it's about the monster, which is a character, and how real everything looks.
Did I change last night? Howl at the moon.